All right, let's dive right into a topic that honestly affects millions of us, diabetes. But here's the thing, it's not just one disease. Today, we're going to break down the really critical differences between type 1 and type 2. To get a sense of just how big this is, let's start with a number. 38 million. That's how many adults in the US alone are living with diabetes right now. It's just a massive figure. But here's the stat that really gets me. Out of those 38 million people, 1 in 5 doesn't even know they have it. That's wow. That means millions of people are walking around with a serious condition and are completely in the dark. So before we get into the weeds, what are we even talking about here? At its most basic level, diabetes is a chronic condition where you have high levels of sugar, or glucose, hanging around in your blood for a long time. That's the core problem. Okay, now this is probably the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. Even though they have the same name, type 1 and type 2 are fundamentally different. Think of it like this. With type 1, the body is literally attacking itself. With type 2, the body starts to ignore or resist a key hormone. See? Two completely different roads leading to the same destination. So let's dig into that first road. Let's talk about type 1, which is what's called an autoimmune condition. Okay, so what does that even mean, autoimmune? Well, imagine your body has its own security team, the immune system, that's supposed to fight off bad guys like viruses. In type 1 diabetes, that security team gets its wires crossed. It makes a mistake and launches an all-out attack on the pancreas, specifically the little factories inside that make insulin. And this sets off a chain reaction. So first, that confused immune system destroys the beta cells. Those are the insulin factories we just talked about. Second, well, with the factories gone, the pancreas just stops making insulin altogether. And third, without insulin acting like a key to unlock your body's cells, all that sugar, that glucose, has nowhere to go. It gets trapped in your bloodstream, and the levels just keep rising. Now, let's completely switch gears and look at the other side of the coin, type 2 diabetes. This isn't an attack from the inside. This is a resistance problem. See, in type 2, the pancreas is still doing its job. It's making insulin, sometimes even working overtime and making extra. But the problem is, the body cells have stopped listening. It's like insulin is knocking on the door, trying to deliver energy, but the cells have put on noise-canceling headphones. They just can't hear it anymore. That's insulin resistance. Now, this resistance is often, but not always, connected to things like gaining weight or not being very active. That extra body fat can actually mess with the signals the cells use, kind of muffling insulin's message. Over time, this can lead to this sort of warning stage called prediabetes, where your blood sugar is high, but not quite in the type 2 zone yet. It's like a yellow flag. So, since the causes are so different, it just makes sense that the solutions have to be different too, right? Let's look at how each type is managed. And here we are at another huge fork in the road. For type 1, since the body isn't making any insulin, the only solution is to give it what it's missing. That means insulin therapy. But for type 2, because the problem starts with the body resisting its own insulin, the first line of defense is usually lifestyle changes to try and make the body more sensitive to that insulin again. So what do we mean by lifestyle changes? Well, we're talking about the big three: a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and avoiding smoking. These things can have a huge impact. And if someone starts early, like in that pre-diabetes stage, these changes can sometimes prevent or seriously delay type 2 from ever developing. Okay, so we've seen they have different causes, different treatments, but why is it so important for all of us, whether we have diabetes or not, to really get this distinction? It all comes down to empowerment. Simple as that. When you actually understand what's going on under the hood with a health condition, whether it's yours or a loved one's, you're suddenly in the driver's seat. Knowledge is always the first step to taking control. And this knowledge has real-world ripple effects. It helps you make smarter health decisions. It lets you create prevention plans that actually work for the specific issue. And maybe most importantly, it helps crush social stigma. Understanding that type 1 is an unavoidable disease and that type 2 is super complex helps us fight all those misconceptions. It just makes us a more aware and, frankly, a more empathetic community. So we'll end on this. Knowing the difference between an attack and a resistance, between needing insulin and needing lifestyle changes, that's not just trivia, it's powerful stuff. So the question I want to leave you with is this: how can this knowledge empower your health choices and the choices of the people you care about?